What's going on, y'all, and welcome on in. Today's video we're going to talk about the Advent, which I really want Smilegate to bring these out more on the regular, but that's a side note. Guys, the long story short, I'm going to give you guys my own tips and tricks as well as the teams I use for both Auto Hell and Epic Hell, and hopefully those of you that, this event has been out for over 24 hours, so make sure you just check out other YouTube guides, other Reddit guides, whatever it might be. There's a bunch of guides out there. Just take your pick and see which ones kind of fit your own style better, but I'll give you the extra mechanics you need to be aware of, as well as reference some of my own good friends and fellow YouTubers to maybe help you and just put it all into one video. But overall, the main thing I want to do, the main reason I make this video is to make sure all of you do this, period. On my live stream today, when we were just messing around and trying things out, I had quite a few questions asking cars, hey, to skip this, or car, I don't think I can do this. Guys, as long as you didn't start today or yesterday, if you've been playing a month, 2 months, 3 months, and you have like your hunts kind of on farm, you can probably do hard mode, and a lot of y'all can probably push auto hell mode. And the reason you may want to farm this more than just emptying out the shop of the awesome goodies is because of the modification gem drops you get from every clear. It is better than Expedition. It's the best way to get these gems, and this time around, this rotation, if you didn't know, every different Advent has different gem drops. These are all very good. Pen set, speed set, lifesteal set, amazing. Take advantage. Make sure you at least farm out the hard mode to get the full shot buy. You will have to make some concessions. If you can't do more than hard mode, you'll have to sacrifice a few of these. You can't buy absolutely everything, but you can get a majority of it. Just skip like the defense boxes, guys, and maybe a few others. You can get all the elemental summons, the molas, all this good stuff. Don't even sweat it. If you can farm auto hell mode, I would really recommend picking up a lot of the gems if you guys are lacking those, and you will be as a late game player, as a whale even. It's hard to get those gems. You can only get 2 extra besides Expedition a month from the the shop, the Alchemist Steeple, I believe. Anyways, it's a great resource to get it. Please take advantage of it. Make sure you farm out hard mode. But for this video, guys, I'm not really going to talk too much about hard mode. I'm telling you, if you just stack the elements, kind of look at what I'm using for Hell and Epic Hell, all of you will be able to farm it, especially. And if you need extra help, just stop by the live stream, boys. I'll be able to help you out one-on-one. With that being said, let's go ahead and get on into the meat of the video, and I'll share with you the tips and tricks as well as the teams I use for Hell and Epic Hell. Alrighty, boys, so make sure you just empty out the shop. Do what you can, even if it's just farming hard mode, and everyone else push the limits and see if you can do Hell and Epic Hell. This one is much easier than the last one. If you watched my last one, that was way worse. I'm glad this one's a lot easier. There still might be a little bit of a gear quality or hero selection if you are missing some stuff, but hopefully I can provide you with some extra alternatives if you don't have what I have, as well as, like I mentioned, there's so many guides out there now. Just after this video, take a look at some other stuff if I don't give exactly the units you have access to, but I'll try my best to help you guys out. So I'm gonna pull up the video, guys, that I recorded of just my auto Epic Hell. Is this it here? Yes, this is it, guys. Sorry, I had the same exact screen up, so it's kind of confusing. Here we go. I'll talk it through while it plays in the background, but this is my team for phase 1, and when we get to the Epic Hell portion, I'll make sure to mention the mechanics that you need to be aware of. When you click the boss and it has like a paragraph worth of details, that's what I'll kind of just maybe TLDR condense that info for y'all. But we opted for 3 Earth units here, guys. Selene, Iceria, and Violet. In Auto Hell, guys, if your gear is anywhere decent, the Violet's kind of just a failsafe. If you land an early defense break with Iceria, which we did not, this will be even faster, but the Violet kind of is just there to make sure the run completes if you have bad RNG. Selene does the heavy lifting. Iceria sets up the defense break, so this is very quick. There's really not much else for this in Auto Hell, but in Epic Hell, there will be a slight difference. So I'm going to go ahead and just move us forward here to save some time, but Selene is going to, or Iceria is going to defense break, I believe, and then Selene's going to go into a big skill 3. Here we go with the reset. And of course, guys, also make sure you put on the highest attack exclusive equipment on your Selene. Hopefully all of you have access to her. These are all, right? No limited units here, no MLs at least for this portion. I'm pretty sure I try to keep them all out. Okay, so we move on to the phase 2. Phase 1, very simple, boys. In the phase 2, I still made sure to not use any Moonlight units. If you guys have Silius, Conquer Lilius, Strays, my viewers were sharing me all these amazing pay-to-win Hell teams, but this one is purely free-to-play. Hopefully you guys have these. Ravi, Kayron, and Fireball and Sezin, who I think is amazing, even better than Fire Tenebria, but those are some also options you can use, and I'll be sure at the end to give you guys each phase some different alternatives, maybe some screenshots, whatever. But we get the triple fire element bonus. Fireball is our debuffer, and you will need to know some mechanics for Epic Hell, but for right now, we're just same thing as phase 1, guys. Landing defense break, just stacking out the damage. I will show you guys my gear after. You'd be a lot of y'all will laugh at my Fire Ravi. She's actually world boss geared, meaning I didn't even really pay attention to what she has on. I slapped on, I think, like Rem's artifact. You don't even need that though. It's just because I was missing crit, and that's it, boys. She's just there as the failsafe, defense break, and just stack damage. All right, for phase 3, I actually flexed a little bit. I think I used Watcher Shuri for the Epic Hell, but in case you don't have Watcher Shuri, guys, all you need is an attack up unit and Hua Young. It's really that easy. If you're missing Hua Young, guys, you'll have to dig a little bit deeper and maybe look at units. I believe there's some other strong fire elemental units like Melissa. What else, guys? Sermia. Some of y'all will be using those in phase 2, for example, but you're gonna have to, you know, dig a little deep. Hopefully y'all did pick up Hua Young because she's an amazing unit here. And as you can see, for auto hell, we can just full auto it and even 2-man it. I bet you some people could even solo it if their gear was good enough, or maybe put on lifesteal. I don't know, something crazy. But either way, 2-man it. If I added in a 3rd unit, it'll be even faster. If you guys have access to some Moonlight units, like I mentioned Strays earlier, Watcher Shuri, then that's going to be super, super simple. But this just kind of shows you that auto hell. You know, guys, let's show the gear right now. So the video has ended. I'll show you guys the gear right now, and I believe my team, let's go phase by phase. I'll go through it very quickly. So for the first phase, we had 3 Earth units, right? Iseria. I'm talking to myself, so I make sure to show you all the right gear. But Iseria right here, boys, just make sure she has enough effectiveness. Song of Stars, just an extra bonus. Definitely not even needed. It's mostly for the skill reset and the defense break. I just made sure I had effectiveness. The rest of the stats, boys, it's really just random gear. Not even reforged, some free stuff. Who knows what it's on. Just make sure she's the fastest on the team. And that's about it. Celine up next. And by the way, this is the same exact gearing for Epic Hell, okay? So take note. Same exact gear for Epic Hell, and if I have a few other units, I'll make sure to revisit them for the end. But Celine, I didn't even really worry about the speed. Just slapped on attack percent boots. I mentioned the highest attack EE to make sure we attack the boss. This artifact shouldn't even be on here. We just use something else. It literally doesn't even matter. The Hell and Epic Hell were both manageable on this artifact, which I don't even know. Maybe not even proccing half the time for the attack up, but who cares? The defense break is enough. And the Violet right here, guys, same kind of deal. We made sure to have him on 0 speed. This is almost my RTA build. I just dropped immunity and swapped out the boots. He usually has more health, but it's made for RTA. Doesn't really matter. Make sure he can survive. Put him on lifesteal. He's kind of there as the fail safe. This is the same exact gearing I use for Epic Hell as well. So moving on to phase 2, let's start with Fire Ravi, our tank. This is what I think you guys might laugh at. Boys, look at this. Not even a fully 15 weapon, 15 blue chest. And yeah, the rest of the gear is just random. She's missing crit chance. She has low negative crit damage, but it works, right? It all just depends on what you have access to. The EE I don't even think matters. And I just use this for extra crit and stats. You guys can make way better Ravis, more efficient, whatever. But keep in mind, I didn't use this for Epic Hell. This is mostly just for auto Hell mode farming. Now, Kairon, also not using Epic Hell, but this is the stats I had on him for auto. A little bit better than my other units. Attack percent boots, but these are nothing great, guys. Look at these arena boots that rolled all effect resist. All you can achieve this even if you're kind of newer. It's not that difficult. Elia's knife, just slap that on. And then last but not least, this is the most important one because I use him for Epic Hell as well. He's only 5-starred, so good news, boys. Take note of the book. That's going to be important for my own Epic Hell version. But I just make sure he's the fastest on the team. You don't need to be that fast. Just make sure he's fast enough and then have enough effectiveness to land. The most of the time, the defense break. And for Epic Hell, you're going to want all 3 debuffs. Be sure, guys, that you do have enough effectiveness and make sure you mola the effect chance because there's a lot of RNG involved and it's very annoying having to restart the run when you don't land all this on top of the extra 15% from just innate resist. So, okay? So the stats don't really matter too much. Just make sure effectiveness and fast with the S3. If you can, get some effect chance on there. Last but not least is going to phase 3. The Hua Young right here is just my RTA build. You guys, it's more of a tanky one, so a lot of y'all will naturally just have more damage. But in case you can't get these stats, it's okay. Remember, I did this with 2 units. Try to get as close as you can, and I think this will be easy. This unit is just OP busted. The Vivian is my Banshee Vivian. I think I might have changed a few things Yeah, I added some extra damage, but I think that's mostly for Banshee. She could just be there just for the, as long as she's faster than Hwayoung, to give that first turn attack up to help with the damage. It's the same thing I use for Epic Hell. Okay, I'll show the last remaining few units, but let's go ahead and watch the Epic Hell video real fast. Okay, guys, let's quickly watch the Epic Hell version, and I'm going to go through this one a little bit faster. I'll make sure to talk about the mechanics, but since we already watched the Hell mode, I don't have to spend too long on it, just for the sake of length of video. But I'm going to pause here real fast, boys. Same thing on Team 1, same exact team. Team 2, I swapped out Ravi and Kayron for Spectre Tenebria because it's a lot less of a headache for me to kind of just burst it through, and I opted to include this. I know it's a Moonlight 5, so a lot of y'all won't have access to, but a lot of people I think did pick her up from connections. I think she's one of the best Moonlight connections, so if you're watching, hopefully you have her. AOL could honestly be anything else. She's just a book holder and adds an extra debuff for just posterity, but I'm not even kidding, guys. You could really use any other unit here. If you want my style, just make sure they have a book, make sure they don't provide any buffs or have buffs, because that's gonna be important for the boss, but it's really not important to be AOL there. And then for the last phase, all I did was add in Watcher Shuri. So let's go ahead and watch it real quick. I'm gonna kind of just speed through it. Phase 1, guys, I'll mention the mechanics and then we'll skip, but essentially we are going to, on my version of the run, keep up the vigor buff. If you do want to get rid of it, though, I believe you just hit the trees instead of the boss. But it's not called vigor buff. I'll check in game what it's called right after. But we're not worried about that. The main goal of our run is just remove the counter buff, because that's going to make phase 3 very hard. So this is just the same exact thing. I didn't worry about mechanics. The same exact gear as Hell mode, boys, and we're going to speed through it. This was 100% as well. Maybe if your gear's a little bit worse, there might be some RNG, but for the most part, press auto, boys, if you have these 3 units, and it's super, super simple. So I'm going to speed up and just get us through to the end here. Iceria landing defense breaks. Celine doing some big damage. Violet countering when you can. And be aware too, guys, I think these units, I looked through the skill descriptions. I didn't see anything specifically, but it feels like they have innate hit. So if your Violet misses a lot of dodges, don't worry. Your Violet's not broken. It's just something with the... I think these guys just have innate hit buff or something weird going on, because a lot of people, my Twitch stream confirmed it too. Their Violets were getting hit. Doesn't matter though. The other units will. He's just there as a fail safe, like I keep mentioning. All right, so Celine's gonna push us into the next phase. Now this is where the mechanics become very important, guys, because I do think you can skip the first one, the fist icon, but the counter one is gonna make phase 3 very difficult. Okay, so the way we remove this is, we're going to want to make sure we have over 3 debuffs. This is why Fireball is very important. That's why AWOL is kind of nice. And also take note of the books. I'm going to just kind of cheese the boss through the use of Taga Hells, which I hope a lot of y'all have access to. If you don't, you may need to try another one-shot method. But I know a lot of y'all can do this, and you don't necessarily need all of the books. You can get away with, I think, 2 should be good enough. But the more you can stack, obviously, the better. So we landed 1 debuff here. AWOL kind of just there for that reason alone. Fireball is going to land us 3 debuffs. If you miss 2, the only important one is you want to get 3 total debuffs to make sure we hit the boss enough times while having 3 buffs total. I believe it's 4 times while having 3 debuffs. And the defense break, it has to land, of course. So everything else is auto except for this one portion. I'm going to unclick the auto button, and I kind of just soul burn the boss's health away, guys. Now, I'll show you the Specteni stats afterwards. I did gear her full damage instead of, this is one unit I had to change off of my PvP build. But if y'all can just make your glass cannon, I know a lot of y'all have access to her. Just stack a couple books or get more souls in phase 1. And a lot of y'all can do this if you don't have access to some of the other one-shot units like Strays, or maybe you don't want to build up a Melissa. Whatever other people are trying out, guys, this is an option to use Specteni and just spam souls. Very, very simple. Now the phase 3, guys, we take it home. As you can see, the boss doesn't have the counter because we hit him enough times with 3 debuffs to lose his counter buff. And now, even with this other buff he has, it doesn't even matter. Hwayoung here will get this 100% done on full auto. Watcher Shuri is necessary here, but it's just the damage. It doesn't necessarily have to be Watcher Shuri, but since he does so much damage, I opted to include him here. Just take your pick of any other high nuke damage dealer, and like I said at the very end, I'll go share a quick screenshot of my good friend and YouTuber Tristan Wolf. Make sure you check out his guide on this as well if you need extra or alternatives. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here, boys. I just leave it on auto. Hwa's gonna eventually kill it, or he's gonna finish it off here, but even if he doesn't, Hwa seals the deal with a follow-up skill 3. Much easier than last time, boys. And make sure, see, I talked about the greater modification gems that drop. Make sure y'all get those done, okay? That's about it. I'll show you really quickly the Watcher Shuri gear real fast. Super basic. I just slap some damage on him. Daydream Joker for extra damage as well. Phase 2, I need to show you guys the Spectre Tenebria real fast. So I mentioned the book. I just went full damage, of course. Don't worry, guys. The pen set was just... Oh, actually, I didn't even double stack pen set. I thought I did. If you guys can get a pen set, it adds the extra damage a little bit. At least on the skill 3. The skill 1, I'm not fully sure, but I think since it's not hitting twice because we're not doing the skill 3 first, I think it does add damage there as well. And then, of course, last but not least, AOL, who... Not important, guys, just a book holder and adds an extra debuff. Don't worry about the stats. Just make an opener, another mage, whatever it might be. Just be careful not to bring buffs on your side. One thing I forgot to mention, boys, make sure the boss has 3 debuffs and make sure your own units don't have buffs, even for hell mode, okay? Let me go and show in-game real fast again, or I'll show on my video here. But on the phase 2, make sure you don't have immunity sets on, anything, because the boss will actually cleanse or even counter if you have buffs on. So make sure you have a lot of debuffs, burn them down, and don't have any buffs for your own side, okay? That's it, boys. That's the kind of... Oops, my LD player is kind of messing up there. But that's kind of just the abridged version. And let me go and end by showing y'all some quick alternatives. Okay, guys, I have 2 alternatives that'll help you out maybe a little bit at the end of this video here. First one, I'll go ahead and show you an alternative to the auto hell. Not the epic hell, but this is from my good friend Rug Dealer. His video is private, so I'm not really going to shout it out unless he wants me to. But same thing, I use the same exact team auto first one for him. In the phase 2, I mentioned Strays and Conquer Lilith. If you guys have access to them, and Amelia, this makes it easy. And most of y'all should have these built for PvP. And in the third phase, Hua, Sinful Angelica instead of I use Vivian. And then he just has even more damage here. Okay, so this is an alternative for Hell Auto, just to show you guys what some other people are trying out. And... another shout out, guys, for my friend Tristan Wolf, who has solidified himself as the Expedition guy, as the now Advent guy, and he's a very good friend of mine as well. Awesome content. Please check out his YouTube. But we have the same team 1. I like this team a lot, guys, and I'm not showing y'all any others because it's very, very free to play friendly. A lot of y'all should have these all, no limiteds even. His phase 2. There was a collaboration unit, but if you guys want to use Fire Tenebri instead of Fireball, Melissa, Elfelt is his combo, Mono Fire. And then for the phase 3, he actually uses Mascot Hazel, so definitely a super, super free-to-play option. Remember, guys, I used the Vivian, but if you want to get that extra damage for the enhanced element, I'm not sure, actually, the extra bonus, it may not be damage, it probably is, though. You can use Hazel, and then Sermia, a very free-to-play option, right? I use Watcher Shuri. There's a lot of different methods there. But overall, boys, hopefully that helps you guys out a little bit in doing this mode. Last words, just like I mentioned at the start, guys, make sure you get it done. Even if you can only do hard mode, even if you have to hustle by 13 days to get a hard mode auto, try your best to do it because there's some very, very good stuff in the shop. I know PvE content isn't for a lot of y'all, especially kind of hero gated or equipment gated difficult PvE like this, but please, for me, get it done because these rewards you don't want to miss out on, and get into practice because we will see more of these advents and hopefully from Smilegate on the regular and letting us know the exact schedule, okay? Little dig at them. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope this helps you out. I'll catch you in the next one. Stop by the streams. Love y'all. Peace out, everybody.